Hello and welcome back everybody. This is part 2 of my current series of anomalies I discovered in a new site in Terra Cimmeria. In part 2 we'll be looking at potential megalithic, monolithic slabs or blocks. I'll be showing you the nuts and bolts, and as usual I'll leave it up to each and every one of you to decide what we're looking at. As always, I'm just speculating, folks, so let's get cracking on. Lots to see in this one. The photograph we're analyzing is called Monitoring Dust Devil Tracks in Terra Cimmeria, acquired on the 29th of October 2020 at 24.8 centimeters per pixel. And I'll be showing you images cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file, just over 760 megabytes in size. There's a look at the low-res black and white, and the anomalies I'm showing you are littered throughout this strange plain with these dust devil tracks. Seems like a very windy place on Mars. Located in the southern mid-latitudes, approximately 64 degrees 22 minutes south, 157 degrees 58 minutes east, and it's in that location there, folks. And at the time of the video, the HiRISE photograph had not been loaded to Google Earth Mars yet. Let's have a look at some of the top anomalies featured in part 1 of this series. Started off with a strange disc-shaped anomaly about 12 meters in diameter, with a strange part on the top that follows the same curvature as the main disc underneath it. Another triangular object with a strange part at the apex, and it's got this raised area running through the center. Showed you 3 or 4 more of those that are discovered in other sites on Mars. I wonder if these were some type of craft. I've got no clue. And then this strange wishbone shaped anomaly. It looks almost like some type of hoisting mechanism next to this hole. I wonder if they were lowering something into the hole or pulling something out. Who knows what that is, folks, but check out the straight piece there, and then this other part that joins it on the side. This one here extends past that intersection point. It's really weird. Not your usual megalithic boulder or rock. Here's another one of these strange, almost obelisk shaped anomalies, about 8 meters long. And then this part reminds me of the monoliths that have been appearing all over Earth recently. Check out the 3-sided triangular part on the top. It's like a face on it, and then the straight flat sides. Check that out, folks. And then similar looking megalithic blocks, all about the same size and shape. And there's one lying on top of this larger piece over there, and it seems to have a circular base on it. Check out the 90-degree angles to these things, guys. And then I showed you these very long, narrow parts that look almost like piping or metallic debris of sorts. Very similar, these two over here, the top left and the one down at the bottom right. And there's one that extends over what looks like an oval hole in the surface, almost like a bridge. And then these strange parts that look like metallic debris or wreckage. Look at the sharp edges on these objects, and then the way that they've been bent. Very much like you'd bend sheet metal here on Earth. So the first anomaly right there, guys, it's about 10 by 15 meters in size. and I don't know what to make of this one. Check out the rounded part here on the front. It's got right angles to it, and then this long narrow part with a uniform width on the top, and it seems to be slightly elevated above the larger part, like it's been carved in a pattern over there with this piece on the top. And then the block, this one's about 8 by 8 meters in size. Check out the straight edges, right angles to it, and right there on the surface of the one side, very close to its center, we've got the typical protrusion or knob. Very unlikely to be natural. There's another block, slightly smaller, and it's got a strange part that extends out of the one side there. It's got right angles to it as well, and then slightly curved on the one side. Seen lots of those blocks on Mars, where we've got the block and then it's rounded on the one side. I don't know what the purpose of that would be. There's a block a little smaller than those two. This one's about 4 by 4 meters in size. Check out the straight edges and right angle to that part. So we've got 3 blocks that look very similar, just ranging in size from small, medium to large. And then these rectangular blocks, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over there, and this one over here at the top is about 8 by 4 meters in size. So check that out, folks. Straight edges and right angles to these blocks, very much like you'd find here on Earth. If you go to any of the megalithic ruins in South America, you'll find some of these there. They look very similar. Okay, here we're looking at that strange slab or block. It's about 6 meters long. It's got this flat side, slightly curved over here to the top. Right angles there, folks, and then it's slightly hollowed out. And then we've got that raised part running through the center over there, parallel with the straight sides there. It's almost as if this is sticking out of a hole. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Now we're looking at a long narrow block with a small one on the top. That's about 12 meters long and about 4 meters wide. And we've got this block lying across it, and it's got a raised part, protrusion like anomaly to it, parallel with the one side. Check out the right angles going on here again. We're looking at a strange saucer-shaped object down at the bottom right here, and it's about 8 meters across. Check out the rounded edge over here, and then in its center this raised part, and then in line with it we've got these 2 parts running into the center over there. Symmetry and geometry again, folks. So this is the second disc I'm showing you from this JP2, and we're looking at these slabs, 4 by 8 meters in size approximately, and got 2, one lying on top of the other, similar in size and shape as well as geometry. and they've got a uniform width to them as well. We've seen a site or two on Mars where we've got two similar blocks or slabs lying next to one another like that. And there's another one. Check out that strange object. I'll feature that in part 3. So if I'm missing anything, folks, I'll probably cover that in part 3. So let's check out these. This is about 2 meters wide, and we've got right angles to it as well, guys. So not only do we have the blocks, but we've also got these strange slabs as well. Check out this piece. It's about 6 by 6 meters in size. Uniform depth to it as well. Right angles. And then this strange narrow part, raised area there on the one side. Almost like the way you join blocks together here on Earth, with this interlocking part possibly slotting into another block with a slot on it on the one side. And then we're looking at that block lying on top of the larger part. This is about 3 by 5 meters in size. It's got a uniform depth to it, right angles, parallel sides. Then we're looking at that strange part. This over here looks like a side view of a loaf of bread. It's weird. But let's look at this. That piece there is about 8 meters long, and it's got this bevel on it, cut parallel with this one side. And then strange parts over here to the left. Another block with a pattern on it, also a bevel. Check out that there. This one's slightly rounded, and that bevel follows the same curvature. And this block or slab also has a uniform depth to it. And then this strange part, it's about 12 meters across, and it's got these two square flat surfaces on it. These seem to be sticking out slightly, possibly carved into this larger block. Check it, the ridge line running through there. Right angles to those there as well. And then it's got a slot on the side here. So I don't know what the purpose of this was, but it looks like these two square flat surfaces were like carved into that block. And we're looking at interlocking parts over there, and that large part there's about 15 meters across. Check out the right angle over here. So it has straight edges, and then these strange protrusions on the one side, and it looks like this block next to it fits into that over there. So it has a right angle to it. And then that strange block, it's about 8 by 8 meters in size, and it's got this very smooth flat part on the top there. It looks almost as if it's sticking into this block, with that there being a type of an opening perhaps. This part also has a right angle to it. So I don't know if it's carved into this block or whether this part sticks into it, into this opening, which is also parallel with this one side. And then the usual suspects, folks. Small parts on larger parts. Here we're looking at a small block. It's about 1.5 meters wide and about 4 meters long. And it's arranged parallel with the one side of the larger part underneath it. It also looks as if it might actually be a repeat of this sort of like flange part on the side here. It's got the same angle to it. Maybe this is a flat, smooth surface in the center with these two sort of wing-like parts on the top. It's weird. Or it could be a small block lying over here on the right-hand side. I'm not sure. And we're looking at the blocks at the top over there. Apologies, it seems to be cutting off slightly. But check out the smooth flat surface on this one over here. It's got right angles to it, a uniform thickness, and then this over here seems to be cut across at 45 degrees. And it's lying up against another block with approximately the same depth to it. And then this one, this is a massive piece, guys. That there's about 18 meters long and about 10 meters wide. Slightly rounded, got straight edges. These two are parallel with one another, and then arranged parallel with this one side. We've got this small part there, and then another block over here to the left. Also has almost the same constant width across it and right angles. And then this part over here lying on top of the larger block. That small piece there is about 6 meters long, and the part underneath seems to be hollowed out. It's got this rectangular shape to it, and then this smaller part, L-shaped, also has a right angle to it. I don't know if it's attached to the larger part or whether it's lying across it. Check it, the almost uniform thickness to that block as well. I included footage of this site on Google Earth Mars in part 1, so I'm not going to do it in part 2. I'll do it again in part 3, just for the sake of keeping the video as short as possible. Anyways, folks, that's it for part 2. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up, please. Let's have a chat down in the comments below. Let's have a look at if we can't suss out what we just checked out again. The similarity in the size and shape of those blocks is uncanny. And then again, the small parts or protrusions or objects on the larger parts. It's unreal. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye for now.